Welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Eric. I'll be taking you through this topic, decimals. And for this lesson, we're going to look at revision on the topic decimals. And we'll start by looking at some of the questions that commonly or frequently come in KCSE exams. And of course, we'll be able to give you some assignment at the end of the topic to help you practice and also just to help gauge on your understanding of the topic as discussed through this lesson. So for such a question whereby we have just, one operation multiplication and this, maybe you could have multiplication also down here. What you do is to multiply both numerator and denominator by a power of 10 that will remove all the decimals. Rather, that will move the decimal point from where it is to after the last digit here, basically removing the decimals. So here we need to multiply both numerator and denominator by maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1 million. So we have multiplied this by 1 million. And you also multiply this by 1 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all the zeros here will be used to move the decimal point to, rather make these decimals here whole numbers. So all of them. But when it comes to this one here, only 2 will be used. So we'll have 10,000 remain. So we have this one as 384. 16. So 16 multiplied by 625. And of course, down here is divided by 9604 multiplied by 10,000. So after removing the decimals, you are supposed to divide successively until when you cannot divide further. So let me just start with, let's say, 2. So 2 divides this one, 19. So 4 here is 2. Then 0, 8. 3 here divided by 2 is 1. Remember 1. 1 taken to 8 will be 18. Divided by 2 is 9. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 divided by 2 is not possible. So 0, you carry that one to the next digit, becomes 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And of course, this one divided by 2 is 5,000. So again, you can divide by 2. So let me try change the color again. So if you divide this by 2 is 2500. Dividing this by 2 is 9 because of 18. Remainder 1. 1 taken to 2 will be 12. So that is 6 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then 0. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So again, let me try change color again. So this one divides, goes into that ones, and it goes into these ones. So what remains now is 25 here. So 25 goes here, 125 goes there 25 times. And so what we have remaining in the numerator is 25 divided by 100. So this basically moves the decimal point from where it is to the left to 2 steps. So the number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros down here. So 1, 2. So final answer is 0.25. So we have example number 2. So again, we do the same thing. We evaluate without using mathematical tables or a calculator. So again, we just multiply both numerator and denominator by a power of 10 that will remove all the decimal points, all the decimal places. So we need to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1 million again. So you see here we have 4 decimal places. So the 4 zeros here will be used to remove the decimal places. Here all the 6 zeros will, because we have 6 decimal places up here. So all the decimal places are removed. So we have 625 multiplied by 256 divided by 25 by 8, and then you multiply by 100. So after removing the decimals, you divide successively until when you cannot divide further. So 25 goes here, 125 goes into 625, 5 times. 8 here once, 8 there, 3 because of 24, and into 16, 2 times. So now what we have remaining, so what remains is 5 by 32 divided by 100. So I will just multiply this 2 here. So 5 by 32, that is going to be, so if you multiply 32 by 5, we have 5 by 2 is 10, 0 carry 1, 5 by 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So 32 by 5 is 160. So this is 160 divided by 100. So again, division by powers of 10 simply moves the decimal point to the left. Number of steps or number of places that is equivalent to the number of zeros. So apparently the decimal point is here. So you move it 2 steps, 1, 2. That is going to be 1.6 as the final answer. So this happens when you have just multiplication only up here and also multiplication down here, or just one number like we had in the previous case number 1. So again, we have convert 2.45 into a fraction in its simplest form. So we have 4, 5 recurring. The dots on top of 5 and dot on top of 4 means that the pattern 4, 5 repeats itself. So what you do is you let the fraction be 0 point or x, be a letter like x. So we have x is equals to 0 point, actually it's 2 points. So 2.45, 4545. So 45 is a repeated pattern. So I've only repeated the pattern 3 times just to help you see how the pattern is repeating itself. So what we'll do to find the fraction, to get the fraction, we'll be multiplying by 10 all through both sides. Remember, we have the left hand side of the equation and the right hand side. So we'll be multiplying by 10 all continuously until when we have a pattern of the decimal point being the same in at least 2 lines. For example, if you multiply both sides by 10, we'll have 10x is equals to 24.5, then 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. I'm only using 6 digits after the decimal point, rather 6 decimal places. So you try and follow through the pattern 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. The next digit is supposed to be 5, but I've just stopped at 4. So if you look at the pattern after the decimal point in the second line and the first line, they're different. The first line is 4, 5, 4, 5. The second line is 5, 4. So that is different. So continue. So 100x, the other side will be 245.45, 45, 45. So if you see the last line here and the first line, they have the pattern after the decimal point being the same. So once you attain that, you subtract both sides. You subtract first line. Of course, we are subtracting the smaller one from the larger. So I'll be subtracting the first line from the third line. So here I'll be subtracting x, and the other side I'll be subtracting 2.45, 45, 45. So this will get 0, 0. The other side will get 240, 43. This other side I'll have 99x. So what I have, remember x represents the fraction. So 99x is equals to 243. 243. So for me to find the value of x, I'll have to divide both sides by 99. So x is equals to 243 over 99. So both of them are divisible by 3. So 243 divided by 3 is 81. 99 divided by 3 is 33. Both are still divisible by 3. So 81 divided by 3 is 27. And 33 divided by 3 is 11. So 11 goes into 27 2 times because of 22. Remainder is 5 over 11. So it means the decimal 2 point, the recurring decimal, this such kind of a decimal is called recurring decimal, where there is a pattern that is repeating itself endlessly. 4545, repeating itself endlessly. So the recurring decimal 2.454545 written as a fraction is supposed to be 2 and 5 over 11. So that is how you go about it. So we have another one here, number 4, which you are supposed to express the number given 0. How many zeros are these? 6 zeros. So we have 0.00000718 in standard form. So a number is said to be written in standard form when it is written in this form, a times 10 power n. So 1 less than or equal to a less than or equal to, actually less than 10. The number cannot be 10, but it can be 1. So the number should be ranging between 1 and 9.99999. So it should be a number between 1 and 10. But then n is an integer. So that is when a number is written in standard form. So integer. Integer. So can we try and write this number in this form? So what we do, we'll have to move the decimal point continuously until when we have a number that is between 1 and 10. So I move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 point. So I have 7.18 times 10 power. The power of 10 will be the number of times you have moved the decimal point. So you move the decimal point how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. Then this is -7. -7 here simply means that for us to get the original number, we need to divide this number here by 10 7 times. You see, the negative here means division by 10. If it is positive, it means multiplication by 10. Yes. So in answering this question, you can write 0.000000718 equal to 7.18 times 10 power -7. So that is how you answer that question. You try to write the original number equals to when now it's written in standard form. So again, we have expressed 1.56 times 10 power -5 in normal form. So again, you can see this power here is negative, meaning that we need to divide this number 1.56 by 10 5 times. So that means the decimal point will move to the left. Division by powers of 10 takes the decimal point to the left, a number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros. So if you're dividing by 10 5 times, it means the number of zeros are 5. So the decimal point will move to the left 5 steps. So we have 1.56. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we have a 0, we have another 0 here, we have another 0 here, we have another, and then we have a decimal point. So you just complete 0 point. How many zeros are these? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, then 1, 5, 6. So this number, the scientific number, the number written in standard form as 1.56 times 10 to the negative 5, in normal form, it will be 0.000, the 4 zeros, and then 156. And so that is how you go about it. Every time you are given such kind of questions, that is how you go about it. So these are questions that are tested in exams a lot by NEC. You should try and go through them again and again so that you are more comfortable with them. So we have a few questions here again to help you practice on the same. You can see we have converting the recurring decimal to an improper fraction. So here you will not write it as a mixed number. You'll have to convert it into, you leave the answer in improper fraction form. And then, of course, expressing the number in standard form, expressing that number in normal form, and then, of course, evaluating that as we had discussed before. So that marks the end of the lesson. Until next time, goodbye.